All right. Hello. Hi, Vicki. How are you?
I'm good, Rachel. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to see you.
I'm so glad to see you too. I'm so glad that we are getting a chance to chat during bundle week here.
Yeah. Tell me how your week's been. Tell me about your bundle week. Tell me what you've been up to.
Well, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of contributors to the bundle, which is just kind of a lovely side benefit. In fact, meeting people like you, which without this bundle, I wouldn't have had a chance to connect, although I'm already was a follower and already really loved you. But getting a chance to talk to you in person and find out a little bit about your story and what you've put into the bundle. I mean, you're as an example of all the 90 plus people that are part of this. That's like the coolest thing, is just getting to really get to know everyone that's part of this. And I've really scratched the surface so far. I've only had a chance to talk to as many as I can reach so far, but there's so many people I want to talk to that I haven't even been able to do that yet. So it's just great, and just having a lot of fun talking about the bundle with other contributors.
Yeah. And I think the cool thing too about the bundle is that what it brings so many content creators, so many professionals, so many um, all types of professionals who are really passionate about their work. It puts them in one spot. And so, like, let's say a person who purchases the bundle wants to reach out to someone who, like, their school of practice is raw food. There's someone they can go to. If they want to reach out to someone who is, like, there's someone in there, and I'll talk to her tomorrow, the urban pharmacy. And so, what she does is, have you spoken to her?
I'm talking to her tomorrow as well.
Oh, cool. And like what she does is like get like my biggest interest to it is replacing the toxic things in my home with like better options. There's like whatever path you want to go to. If you want to do strength training, you can find someone and reach out for strength, like vegan strength training, specifically plant-based strength training, which is super cool. So I
Absolutely.
like that.
I know I had a chance to talk to Dr. Stephanie Peacock, who I had not known before the bundle, and she has a very similar kind of, role in providing information that's not specifically about food, just about removing toxic chemicals from your kitchen. And, I had a chance to talk to her about the way we should store our food instead of in what many of us use, plastic containers, and as long as it doesn't have certain things in it that BPA free or whatever, we feel like it's okay. She's helped explain
Mm,
to me things about canned products and plastic container all. And that's just like the scratch in the surface again, just like the beginning of the kind of information you can get. And what you said is a really good point, I think, because I do really think there's something for everybody in this bundle. I feel like this sort of sense of urgency about at least making sure everyone gets a chance to take a look at it, whether they decide to buy it or not. I feel like most people who look will want it, but I just feel like everyone should at least look, because there's sort of more information than you could imagine could be part of a bundle. But also, it's not all just like recipes and cookbooks, although there's like thousands of recipes and amazing stuff by creators that people either are already following or would want to once they know about them. But there's so much other stuff there. There's this, like, a yoga teacher training certification program. There's stuff about decluttering your life. There's stuff about curbing your cravings and about stopping food addiction and binging, and access to the National Health Association's conference replay, and with 32 videos. I mean, stuff that's kind of crazy. Plus, I mean, courses that are, and cookbooks that, combinations that are, well, Chef AJ is just releasing her Eat Your Vegetables course that will be $97 after the bundle. It's kind of like, for $49 you get that, and 100 other things. It's just sort of too good to pass up. Whether you were in the bundle or not, I would definitely be buying this bundle because there's so much new stuff. There's science, there's just cutting edge information. Even if you're already on this path that you and I are on, there's always new stuff. And if you're just starting, there's just so much exciting inspiration to kind of just get your feet wet. And there's the raw stuff, there's obviously cooked stuff, there's how to grow microgreens, how to ferment. It's like so
Hmm.
much information. It's just really a thrilling opportunity, I feel like, for anybody who just enjoys learning.
Yeah, and my favorite part too is that everybody who is has made something for it is just as passionate about whatever whatever they're presenting. They're really passionate, really informed. It's like this is their thing. Like this is, and I love that. Like I love that there's anything and or everything. And who would have thought, me, like something that I do, if it says BPA free, I'm like, oh, this is gonna work. This is gonna be fine, and it's like what level are you at? And like there's no right or wrong level, but whatever level you're at to like kind of heighten your wellness, if you will, there's
Yes.
something for you. Whether it's just starting to incorporate one or two recipes here. Like if you look at my ebooks, like every recipe that I write is super simple. I don't do anything more advanced than nutritional yeast. I don't, so that's a good way for someone who's like, for me, like I've been doing it for 4 years, but I'm go, go, go. I'm like, I'm one thing to the next thing, and then I got the next thing, and then, and so it's like, what exactly do you want? And there's something there for you. If you have like, and this is the other thing too about being plant-based. I think that some people can get overwhelmed about, and you don't even have to be fully plant-based, but just incorporating more vegetables because we're like, like we're just starting to become a veggie-focused nation. We're not even a veggie-focused nation, right? So it can be overwhelming, right? And so it's a great way to get your feet wet and to just start eating more vegetables because the health benefits. Um, I'm on a new kick right now that I want to eat like 6 cups of non-starchy vegetables a day. And I deal with an autoimmune condition, right? And so there's research behind such a high intake of the nutrients and things in the dark leafy greens here. And I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. But like the bundle and things like that give me access to like different ways to make this happen, to make things like this accessible.
Absolutely. Absolutely, like it's like the tagline for this bundle, that there really is information in every single contribution that we can each, no matter where we are on this journey, learn from. And I had a chance to talk to Lissa Maris yesterday, who is Raw Romance. Wait, help me
Raw
with the
food
name.
romance.
Food Romance, right? And I had a chance to talk to her about it, and she's obviously completely raw and a total expert on this. I'm not raw, but I'm so interested in raw food, um, because I believe that some raw food is good for us every day, no matter what. So whether you're
Yes.
all the way, so just having access to her cookbooks that
Right.
include salad dressings, that include, all kinds of exciting salads that are main dishes, and all of the other information that she provides. Like, what an exciting entry point for someone like me who's not raw but wants to have more raw food. And the same way it is, I think, for people that are not plant-based yet, like you said. I think everyone agrees that more plants is good for us, no matter who we are, where we are, even for people who aren't all the way thinking they want to be vegan at this point. But everyone agrees that more vegetables and plant-based foods are good for us. So what's really also exciting about this particular bundle is that it's not only 100% vegan, but it's also oil free. And that's really unusual to find this many experts that are contributing to something that is oil free. So it's
Yeah.
just a tremendous opportunity to keep learning and getting inspired and motivated to stay on the path or just start on the path. And then, just kind of pick up wherever you are now, without perfection being the goal, but just getting just a little bit stronger younger, a little bit more knowledgeable, a little bit more involved with building some habits that will make you feel better tomorrow. Like I kind of think of that as one of the guide posts for me when I'm making a choice, because occasionally I might be tempted by something that isn't my normal food. And I think, am I going to be glad tomorrow that I ate this today? Like it's not just about the
Hmm.
momentary pleasure, but just kind of getting exposed to some new ways we can um, create food for ourselves that makes us feel better. And that's kind of why I created the batch cooking class that I contributed as well, which I should I talk about that for a second?
Yeah, let's hear
It's
about it.
I
What's your
call
batch cooking class? Yeah, let's hear
Yeah.
it.
So I created a small little mini course of three 20-minute videos and a little miniature ebook that I call Plant-Based Meals All Week, Next Level Batch Cooking for Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner. And it has 11 recipes with color photographs of everything that is included. I actually spilled water on this yesterday on the way to setting up for my live on Chef AJ, so it's a little wrinkled, but nonetheless, it's all here. And I've got recipes in here. I call it next level batch cooking because um, it's not just batching, it's kind of next level because it provides something for breakfast. I actually have a recipe that I call Purple Magic Baked Steel Cut Oats, where I make a big pan of oatmeal in the oven with cherries and blueberries, so it all turns purple, and it's enough to eat all week long. And then I've
Mm.
got lots of different ideas for lunch: a red lentil and black bean soup, mashed potatoes, smoky spiced beans, my oven roasted ratatouille, so roasted vegetables, a cheese sauce, a salads in jars, a sauce or a salad dressing, a ranch dressing that goes with it, a dessert of a no bake fudge mocha bar. And so kind of something for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you can mix and match, and including sauces, stuff you can have over pasta, burgers, tempeh bean burgers, and a dessert, so like a little bit of all kinds of things and these are the same recipes that I actually make week after week in my own kitchen, rotating in and out. And that's more than any one of us probably wants in a single week, but it gives you a few things you could make today to have for a few days. And then maybe in the middle of the week when you're ready for some new flavors, you can kind of, find a chance to make another recipe or two that you can have for a couple of weeks. I actually was on Chef AJ yesterday and I made this recipe for my smoky spiced beans. And I showed how to use it 5 ways, because once I make something, I want to be able to find some ways to mix and match. This is all I've got left. It made a big pan of it. But what we did with it was put it over toast, just as a simple over Ezekiel, toasted Ezekiel muffins, just as a quick breakfast of beans on toast. And for lunch, over a baked sweet potato. And for another lunch idea is just taking some black and brown rice, which is something that I have in my little cookbook. Instead of just brown rice, I mix black rice into it as well, which just gives it a little sweeter taste. And I just put some rice and some beans on an Ezekiel tortilla with a little bit of vegetables on top, whatever you've got. And that could be just rolled into a burrito and a very easy lunch. In fact, another thing I mentioned, my cheese sauce. I happened to make some of my cheese sauce this week, which has a base of cashews. But if you don't use nuts, you could use like beans instead, like a white bean or something, or just leave the nuts out. It would just be a little bit thinner. It's based on the flavors are really just some onion and some roasted red pepper. And I'm just putting a little bit of this sauce over the tortilla. And if you warm that up, now that becomes a really flavorful, quick lunch, breakfast, or dinner, really. So, and then, oh, this is just what's happening in my kitchen today. These are some cookies. This is actually Brittany Girudi's recipe for a breakfast berry cookie. And I just added to that some unsweetened chocolate chips, but you could, of course, leave those out. But I've made that recipe already just in the last week or so, like 3 or 4 times, just using different fruits, adding or subtracting the chocolate chips, which is just my own addition. But all of these things you can kind of mix and match. Just give you with all of these recipes being very few ingredients, very simple, one bowl kind of dishes that allow you to get in and out of the kitchen really fast. And that's kind of the key to batch cooking for me, is to have multiple things happening. Maybe something's cooking on the stove or in the Instant Pot or in the rice cooker, something's in the oven, you've got a sauce in the blender. You kind of have things going so that you're using your time well, and at the end of like an hour, you've got a lot of food. And that's what I try to do, because I don't, even though I love cooking, I don't have as much time for it as I might wish, because we're all busy all day long. And at the end of the day, you're tired, you're hungry, and so I want something always that's really quick. So that's where
My
something like this, where you just put
my
some
fa-
beans in. Yeah,
My favorite part about all of like the setup and the preparing in advance and like using one thing to make five different meals, it makes it more accessible, right? Like that, I think that's the point. And like what you're saying is you don't have time to sit here and cook every single day. Like no, like whether you're vegan or not,
right.
world, hear me out. Whether you eat vegetables or not, we cannot cook every single day, you know?
No, we
Um,
can.
so
So whenever you cook, I always think at least make a lot of it so that you've got enough for several meals. And if you can, almost everything I mentioned, with the exception of maybe like baked potatoes, you can freeze. So, you can freeze your leftover rice, you can freeze your leftover beans, you can freeze the cheese sauce, you can freeze the salad dressing that's in my book. Um, you can freeze almost everything so that you can rotate some things in and out. You have enough for a few meals this week. You might want it for dinner tonight, maybe lunch tomorrow, maybe another dinner. Some people want a lot of variety. I don't need as much variety as some people. I'm happy to kind of repurpose in some new ways and continue eating the same thing for at least 3 or 4 days usually. But then I might freeze what's left while it's still nice and fresh, but because I'm ready for something new. So maybe I pull something out of the freezer, some chili I made a different day or something like that. So,
yeah, and I also don't require like a whole ton of food variety. Like I'm totally okay with um, the same thing multiple days in the row because it's like for me it's like our cost, right? Like our cost mentally, right? To sit here,
right.
like if I just eat the same thing for like 5 days, it's like such a lot less mental cost than if I'm like, what am I gonna cook tomorrow? What am I gonna cook the next day? Do I have the ingredients? How do I make it? I gotta do the dishes again, like um
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
and like the way that you're presenting that, the batch cooking, like using the same thing for multiple different ways, this is a way that folks can ensure that they get the adequate nutrients, right? Because like you can eat it this way once, and then maybe you add tofu to it, and then a bunch of cruciferous vegetables. I'm talking about the smoky beans. That's what the
Right.
it is, right? And so like, or maybe like or the Ezekiel wrap, or like the ways that you presented. But what I'm saying is like there's so many different ways to just and what I think this is about, this like health and wellness bundle, this approach to everybody coming together this week. And it's just like it almost seems like everyone's on a journey to like create like homeostasis in their bodies and their wellness and their life and their kitchen and their minds, like whatever the case is. Like we're just trying to find this middle ground of like we don't have to be perfect, but if you like really complex and intense, right, there's a space for you, right? There's a space for you to
Hmm.
do that here. And then there's also a space for you to like be super creative and super exciting with like the cheese sauce and then if you don't eat nuts, replace it with beans. You could find another one, in the ebook with
Right.
made with potatoes. Like there's there's
Absolutely.
there's a lot, and I've been exploring lately the different varieties of veganism, like low carb vegan,
Hmm.
paleo vegan,
Hmm.
keto vegan. And there's just like it's just insane what all you could do.
I know. There's so much. There's something for everybody, truly, like you were saying. And that's really true. And like you mentioned, using the beans different ways. When I didn't mention that two, I should say, that I didn't mention that I like to do is create a mashed potato bowl. So, or you could do this with any grain or rice or anything that you like, but I like to have just mashed potatoes that are of course, non-dairy and no butter or anything, of course, obviously, but just mashed potatoes with a little bit of seasoning, and then a whole bunch of steamed broccoli or some other lovely vegetable, and then these beans, and then just the beans, the greens, and the potatoes together are a great meal. Lots of flavor. You could always add a little cheese sauce or just a little salsa or a little mustard on top or whatever you like. And that is just to me, mashed potato bowl is just like the best place to start comfort food, and get all kinds of different flavors, nutrients, colors. It's all good.
And I was talking to my brother yesterday about, we're looking where to go out to eat, right? And
Mm.
I just cling towards bowls. Like I actually like what I want to do is I just want to eat anywhere that allows me to assemble some type of bowl. Like I just really like that style of eating because there's so much freedom and
Yeah,
creativity
yeah,
and like
and so much
with whole food.
variety.
Yeah.
So much
And like
variety. You can have a completely different one every day.
yeah, and you can make something from my ebook, something from your ebook, something from um, Chef Julia's ebook, something, and then what you can have is like a variety of different things, and then you can create a bowl, but don't forget the greens on the bottom because those are the most important things. Don't
That's right.
forget our values, everybody. We need these greens in our body. Don't
Absolutely. More greens. Yeah, for
don't
sure.
forget your roots.
That's right. So yeah, I that's exactly right. And when you start to think about, Chef Julia Dunaway's contribution of Japanese plant-based, and the Speedy Vegan who created a book all about with recipes inspired by Costa Rica. And I mean, I think there's just theme after theme. There's people who just wrote a book about or contributed a book of smoothies, and others that have, I mean, there's just absolutely something for, I mean, more than everyone. I mean, there's all of these things can be of interest to all of us. It's just taking the time to go in and explore, because it's a resource that is profoundly valuable.
And something else too that folks can do, like even if you don't want to buy it, that's okay. Do your thing. Click on the link. You can even scroll through and you
Yeah,
literally see every single thing that's in there and what it could do, right? So this is another thing of what we do here is like we want to help each other. What it could do is it could give you an idea of something that you want to embark on. Maybe you want to do further research on. Let's say you
yeah,
come across, the internet is free and like we're out here. This is what we do. Like we produce free content on the internet. We help folks on the internet. And so even if in this time, right, it's only available. So this is my sales pitch right here, but it's only available till tomorrow at midnight, Pacific Standard Time. But so if you want to get it before then. But if you don't want to get it, look at it before then and
hmm,
see like what are some places, what are some people you can follow. If there's like if you're really interested in batch cooking, you can give Vicki a follow. You can give Nutmeg Notebook a follow. There's like people if you're really interested in yoga, there's an instructor on there. You can give her a follow. So even if it's not like monetarily, you can
yeah,
go through and see what folks are on there and engage too. So don't think it's just us on here like buy the bundle. It's actually just take a look and see what's all in there. And then if you want to
yeah,
buy it, that's nice too. But,
yeah. And and while they're looking, take a look, because there's things in there that'll show you, like packages of training that cost $400 retail, or 500, or 197, or I mean, any one of these things is more than the $49, and you're kind of getting it all for, all included in that 49. It's like 45 cents a item or something like that, something crazy. But just any one of these things, or certainly any two, are going to add up to way more than that 49. And the thing about it is, it's a really important investment in ourselves, in our own self-care, because no one is going to do this for us. We have to be accountable. We have to be proactive. I am I just turned 69, and I learned some time ago the importance of being involved in my own care, because it comes down to us making our own decisions, doing our own research, looking to find what
Yeah.
resonates with us, and making the effort to do the work to get ready to make changes that'll make you feel better because we all deserve to feel our best.
Yeah, and one of my favorite lines, quotes from Dr. Sarai Stancic is there's tremendous power in your choices. And, I really feel that because it's like every decision we make, there's a ripple effect. What's it gonna do? So we're either feeding disease or fighting disease.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Feeding disease or
yeah,
feeding health. Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
Cool. Well, cool. This was so fun. I appreciate you coming on to
I'm so
chat.
glad to have a chance to talk to you, Rachel, and I really look forward to like staying connected and catching up again with you soon because I mean, I think the work you're doing, and please tell me more. I haven't had a chance to, yours are among the many that I want to look more at, and I'm so interested in your philosophy and your recipes and your approach to wellness and to taking charge and being accountable for your own choices. And I really just, your message is so important for us. And so please tell me more about what you put into the bundle. You have two things
Okay.
in my,
Yeah, I have two things. So, right, and they both align with what I advocate for, which is the first one is accessible, right? So the recipes are accessible, whole food, plant-based, oil-free recipes. And I like to keep it simple, and I like it, when you make something, it makes about 8 servings, 6 to 8 servings, depending on how you eat, right? Because who am I to tell you what your serving is? For some people, maybe it's just a few. I don't know, you know.
right.
So, but bigger amounts so that it lasts. And this is the other thing too that's important. Sometimes like folks don't have the energy to cook multiple times, right? So we make a big amount and then you can eat it and it tastes super good. So there's a few slow cooker crock pot recipes in there that I like. But then, so I have that. And then I also contributed the 6 aspects. What is lifestyle medicine? So we go into the 6 aspects of lifestyle medicine: sleep hygiene, substance intake, social connection, stress management, physical movement, and nutrition. So highlighting those and giving a description of like how to implement some things from them immediately, which is pretty life changing, right? Once we sleep better, that can really, right, improve the sleeping well really improves the quality of one's life. Eating well improves the quality of someone's life. And that's what I coach people on because what we want to do, we have one opportunity here and we want to create this life that we want. We want to, which is why I'm always striving for but also like working to be content with what is, but also
Mhm.
always striving for the next level because
Yes.
why not?
Right.
Why not?
Absolutely. And also
Yeah.
being compassionate with ourselves if we're not perfect. But yes, allowing ourselves the opportunity to be our best and grow and sometimes move out of our comfort zone with some new things we're not familiar with yet. But that's where someone like you, Rachel, or I as well can come in to help people who are struggling or having questions about transitioning to a new way of eating, sleeping, just general lifestyle questions that have to do with wellness. And we're both here to help people on that
Hmm.
on that road as well.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be so lonely, doesn't have to
Nope,
be scary. It's actually
nope.
an option. It can be scary if you want, and it can be lonely if you want. I did it both ways. I did it all the ways, but it doesn't
Yeah,
have to be.
it doesn't have to be, and
It
it's
doesn't
really more
have to
fun
be.
having an accountability partner or many that can kind of help hold your hand along the way and make it less scary. And almost every question that someone listening imagine we've heard before as well. And we've either been there or know people who have, and we can kind of help people to navigate.
Yeah.
And that's what this is for as well. So it's a good
Yeah.
place to start.
Yeah, Vicky, do you want to share your social pages, your website and things so people can give you a follow and
Yeah,
check out the awesome recipes you put out?
yeah. My website is annarborvegankitchen.com. And I'm on Facebook as Ann Arbor Vegan Kitchen and on Instagram as A2 Vegan Kitchen. And my name, Vicki Brett Gott, comes up if you search me all over the place. So you'll find me. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, please give me, message me or send me a message through my contact page on my website or whatever way is easy. And I look forward to being in contact with anyone that has questions that I can help with.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Vicky. This was fun.
Rachel,
Um,
I really just adore you. So it's a real honor.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to close out the live. Take good care, everybody. Thanks for watching. And Vicky, thanks for being here.
Thank you.